I'm just going to jump in and start. I hope you're going to find this interesting today. We're going to do a swatching from this vintage Rowney Artist Watercolour sketch box, which has been in our family for nearly 2 generations now. This was bought for my daughter in about 1990 something, and by my then mother-in-law, who has since moved on to better places. And so yes, this hasn't been very much used. Tamsin did use it a bit, and we came across it the other day, and I thought to myself, I need to use this because it's got these amazing paints in it. This goes back to I don't know when. The best paints that you can possibly have. Artist watercolors. Now, it's interesting because it's a very small number of colors, but it was a perfect set for sketching out of doors and indoors, come to that. And it's a traditional set. It includes all the gentleman colors, Cobalt Blue, Ultramarine, Raw Umber, Raw Sienna, Indian Red. These are the colors that painters like Turner used when they used watercolors. You won't find any purple in here or any really bright colors. You have to mix those for yourself. And that, I think, is quite interesting. So I'm going to see, first of all, we're going to see whether or not they still work. So we're going to put a little bit of water onto the paint, and then I'm going to, wow. Okay, so that's cadmium yellow. This is cadmium lemon. This is lemon yellow. It's very similar to that one, but a little bit more acidic. And we have some orange here, cadmium orange. And when I've done this video is going to be all about this. The next video is going to be using these colours to paint some birds. So there's a purpose to this, what I'm doing here. This one's called light red, which is a soft orange, which is rather lovely. This is Indian red, which is also a lovely colour because that is what Potter's pink is based on. It's a granulating colour, and we know the famous Potter's pink. That's where that comes from. This is raw sienna. Raw sienna and ultramarine, which is the next one we're doing. French ultramarine and raw sienna are the best colours for skies. Raw sienna, ultramarine, a little bit more blue to make cloudy grey. Indian red. Let's try it with yellow. Lovely rusty brown. Light red also with ultramarine. Another beautiful grey. Orange. with French ultramarine, a cool grey. See the difference? This is a warm grey, so that was Indian red with ultramarine. This is cadmium orange with ultramarine, and it's a completely different kind of grey. This is very cold, so for the shadowy dark side of a painting, this is very warm for the opposite. Lemon yellow with French ultramarine, a beautiful green. Cadmium yellow, which is more opaque with ultramarine. Very similar, that. And then I'm thinking these two colours might be wrongly labelled because they are so similar. And then this one gives you a much more, well, orangey, warmer green. So that's ultramarine and cadmium yellow as opposed to cadmium lemon. So this is cadmium lemon and ultramarine, that's cadmium yellow and ultramarine. Completely different. So what I'm trying to point out is that even though you might say, oh, it's just yellow and blue, when you mix them together, you get different colours. This is basically a red mixed with a blue, and you get these violets or greys, depending on what you want to call them. Different ones depending on what you mix, obviously. So already, although we've only got 15, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 15 colours there. And we've already added to them by another 7 colours. We've got 22 colours already, and I've only mixed just a couple there. And we haven't finished looking at these ones. So this is burnt sienna, which is obviously brown. Burnt sienna and ultramarine also make a lovely grey. I won't bother to show you that, but take my word for it. And this is burnt umber, which is a much softer brown, not so red as that one. And then raw umber. These colours are all the colours that people used to go outside and do sketching in the open air, didn't they? Maybe some of you still do. And these colours are the ones that you needed in order to be able to recreate all the colours of nature, with the exception possibly of purple, which was missing from this palette. But you can make purple. In a minute I will show. And that's Viridian. This Viridian here looks as if it might have become a little bit reluctant. I might have to work on that to get that one to release its colour. But don't forget, this has been sitting here in a drawer, in a bedside table drawer, for probably near on 30 years. This is Cobalt Blue, which is my favourite colour, and this is obviously going to have to be woken up. It's been in a long sleep. So there we are, it's coming to, waking up. And Cobalt Blue, I use that with lots of things. And I didn't look at, because I skipped over, I don't know why, alizarin crimson, which I think if we mix alizarin with cobalt, we'll get, oops, a lilac-y colour. So that's the sort of mauve you get with cobalt and alizarin. So there we are. The palette has awakened, and we'll see what we can do with that soon. In the next video, I'm going to do some birds, And I'm going to base my painting on one of these napkins. I did some decoupage not long ago, a couple of years ago, and these napkins were left over. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this antique looking design of these birds, and I'm going to work with that, and maybe some of these roses or something like that, maybe some of these birds as sort of inspiration. What do you think of my new table? I don't know if you noticed, before I was working on pine. Well, yesterday I decided to Annie Sloan the table, so now we're working on white, and I hope that's better, a little bit fresher. So I will say thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Short video. Tomorrow I have to take my husband to the vaccination centre to get his COVID vaccine, because he's going to have to travel and he needs to be vaccinated. So we will put a video up, but I have to make it today instead of tomorrow. So that's the reason for the shortness of this one. So keep well, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. So bye for now. Bye-bye.